All right, welcome everybody to another edition of the Connection Hangout. Tonight is Diamond Connection. My name is Paul Tyra, and I'm joined by my co-host in Marietta, Georgia. Welcome, David Asarno.
Thank you, Paul. It's awesome to be here.
Fantastic. Good to have you. How's Hotlanta doing?
We're very hot. And
Very hot. All right. Fantastic. Connection Hangout is not a product or a business presentation. If you'd like more information about ASEA, please get back to the person who invited you to this broadcast. And our program here is designed to connect you with real people getting real results. Everyone from athletes, doctors, corporate executives, ASEA Diamonds like we have tonight, and industry professionals come in to chime in to help you understand the technology of ASEA and the business model behind it. If you'd like to chime in and let us know where you're viewing from, we'd love to hear from you. Just go ahead and type right beneath the screen in the comments section. Now, we probably won't be able to respond during the show, but we'll check in from time to time afterwards between episodes. All right, so let's go ahead and introduce tonight's very special guest, Silvia Fontana. She is a triple diamond executive with ASEA. She resides in Toronto, Canada. She is a founding diamond. She is an alumni member of the Global Advisory Council. She is a $1 Million Club member. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome ASEA Triple Diamond Executive, Silvia Fontana. Welcome, Silvia.
Thank you guys for having me in this call. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's our honor to be able to have you. It's great. We got a great connection up there, all the way up there in Canada. Now, you've lived originally rather from Italy, but have lived most of your adult life in Canada. Can you share with all the viewers out there what it was like in the area that you grew up in Italy, and how did you end up in Canada?
Well, I grew up in a wealthy family. My mom and dad, they used to own a hotel, restaurant, but they were too busy with business to take care of me. So who raised me was my grandpa. And my grandpa was poor. So the first 5 years of my life I was with them in a very poor environment, but full of love. And that's where I grew up. And so life was pretty much easy. And at the age of 6, when we started to go to school, my father came and picked me up, and I started school in the north part of Italy, which is less poverty. And then from there on, I grew up in hotel, restaurant, and that environment. And start my first business at the age of 17. So that because I was exposed all the time to business. And then there was a turnover in my life. And after 2-3 years in business, I was kind of working summertime with my business in a summer location, and then in wintertime I was working in a winter resort. And so for me, traveling was my life. I was from one location to another one, every year different location. But summertime I was taking care of my business. And my first business I was an artist. I used to love to paint, so I was an art gallery. And that's more or less my life in Italy.
And how did you end up in Canada?
Well, at the age of 17, I met the one that then became my husband. And again, we were travel a lot. So we decided to change our life. And we were actually looking at Australia or Canada. At the time, back to 82, was a moment where they were the two lands that still offer opportunity. And Australia, you need a permit from the embassy. The embassy was in Rome. It was far from us. And so we said, let's go to Canada. So we packed everything and we left for Canada. And we arrived in Canada as a tourist. But then the visa as a tourist expire. And we stay without visa permit, without permit to go to work, nothing. And that was for at least 7 years, actually. So it was not easy.
Well,
Definitely.
that actually leads to a really interesting story that I've heard you talk about. You know, you didn't speak English when you went to Canada. You ended up becoming a single mom, and yet you were able to provide for your three children. So let's talk a little bit about how, since you brought that story up, you were there for 7 years. What were you doing prior to discovering network marketing? And also, why don't you tell that cool story about the embassy or the ambassador? It was kind of cool.
Okay. So I was illegal in Canada. The only job that I could find was to be a waitress. Or one of my jobs was also cook for a wealthy family. And that was the only way I could get paid some cash money and with tips at the restaurant. And I could make decent money to support my children. But I come out from a very violent marriage. And at one point, I decided that I didn't want to be in that relationship anymore. And I find the courage and the strength to leave everything behind. And a priest helped me out, and in the middle of the night, took me in a shelter center with my children. My daughter was 1 year old. My boy at the time was 7. And we spent 4 months in a shelter center. The Pursuit of Happiness is a little bit the movie of my life. So at the time, I still didn't have permit to work, and thank God for this priest that helped us out. So it was definitely a tough situation. I didn't have no friend, no family here, and I didn't want to go back. I really want to make it my life here in Canada. So when we left the shelter center, a priest found us a place with an old lady. So I was taking care of this old lady, and I was in government assistance. So then the Salvation Army helped us out, give us some furniture and clothes, and that's the way we start again from scratch. I didn't want to be in family assistance, and I really want my permit to work, and I was fighting for that. And after 2 years, finally, I obtained that permit. I was working, and they asked me to interview the Ministry of Immigration at the time. And so behind the scene, kind of started to talk to him, and I said, I think is kind of an abusive situation at custom. And he said, if I don't know what you're talking about, I can help out. So he said, come and see me in a week, and we will go through together those situations. So I show up, and I make the appointment. I show up to his office, and shortly after that meeting, I practically obtained all my papers straight, and I was able to work. At that point, I decided to go back to school because my diploma from Italy, they were not valid in Canada. And I went to school as a esthetician. So start a business from home because I didn't have the money to start a real business. And I was still waitressing. I was waitressing in the evening, and in daytime, I was doing client from home. And every penny I was making from home was going in a saving account. And slowly, I was able to afford my first bed for doing treatment, my first equipment. And before I know, in 4 years, I was able to open a beautiful spa, big investment, and the business was great. I had 5 people working for me, and I started to think, why would I want to go crazy with this business when probably I can do distribution all over North America? So I started to get involved in distribution. And I started to sell equipment and product in the beauty industry. And it went very, very well. And then I said, why would I want to go to trade show and pay people to work for me and work with sales people? Too much. Why don't I just be the middle person? Have exclusivity right with manufacturer, find the distributor that will do the work that I usually do, be the middle person, and pick up money without doing anything. And so money were coming in like crazy. I find all the distributor, they were doing trade show, marketing, invested money for me, and I was not doing anything practically. And then that was done. And then I started to think, I want to get involved with something else. When I was going in Italy, that was one of the biggest trade show in the beauty industry in the world. I find out that in Italy, franchise in the beauty industry are huge. So I will come up with the idea of getting involved with franchise, and I start to do my own franchise, sold 47 franchise, and from a shelter center practically to make a few million in that in the franchise and distribution. Then 9/11 came, and I lost 80% of everything I built. I was home 4 years, be a mom, and then I had a very strong faith, and I said, you know what, God will find a way. He will find me something, or I want to really become a missionary, and that didn't happen that quick, because I find out that to become a missionary, you need to have some money, pay your trip to go down there, and have some money to support yourself when you're there. So I had to come up with something that would give me money every month. And I had no idea at that point what to do. And
okay, so
that was the story.
Now this, let me just clarify. This is where you're going to get into how you found the network marketing industry, correct?
Yeah. That was the time in my life where I was in, one Sunday I was in church, and my daughter-in-law asked me to go to a trade show. And I went to a trade show, and I fell in love with the product. And I want exclusivity right for that product. And they didn't want to give it to me. And I said, those people are nuts. I'm here ready to sign a contract for $1 million in sell for the European market, and they don't sign the contract. I said, never saw anything like that. I said, wow. And then I find out it was network marketing. And I hated network marketing. I hated it with so much passion, you have no idea. I swear, guys. I always said everything, but I will never, ever, ever do network marketing. But I fell in love with that product, and I knew at that time that product would make $1 million in sales in Europe. And so one morning I wake up and I said, Silvia, really? Did you ever be in one of these meeting rooms of network marketing? No. So why don't you go and check? So I went and checked. And let me tell you what actually made me really fall in love with network marketing and change my opinion. And in my first experience in that room, the first time I went into one of those meeting rooms for network marketing, was a lady on stage. And that lady started to talk about network marketing changed. It's not what it used to be, where you buy $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in product and then expire and all that stuff. But it's like virtual franchising. Each person in your organization, no matter where they are, that they use a product or sell a product, you will make a percentage. Remember, Paul, I told you I made a big with the franchise and distribution? Mm-hmm. But at the time I could only sell in Canada, right? Mm-hmm. So I saw the opportunity to have thousands and thousands and thousands of virtual franchise. So if I was going not anymore only North America or Europe, but global, and have thousands and thousands of people consume product or sell them, make a little percentage, wow, I said, never mind. I love network marketing. I'm going to give it a try. That's the way I started as a networker. That was the story of me as a networker. So, and I was very ignorant at the time. Of course, didn't have any education in network marketing. And ignorance in fire. I made all the mistakes on the book. And I keep saying, why I have thousands and thousands of distributors, but I still don't make millions? I'm doing something wrong. Then I started to look what the big boys they were doing, why they were making money and I didn't. And then I started to learn and get a personal trainer, and then I started to grow and grow. I left that experience, it went sour, and then went in another experience, another life, and then another one. And that's it.
Well, here's a question. You were having massive success with your previous company. What made you decide to give up that business and come over and build ASEA?
Okay, I was on a fly-in, and actually before the fly-in, I was making so well. After 1 year I was with my other experience that really I didn't want to look at anything, nothing at all. And but the person that called me was my sponsor in the previous network marketing, and I told him, "You're crazy. I'm doing so well year after 1 year. I have no reason to look at something else." But he said, "You have to meet me in Salt Lake City. If I tell you, it's because it's something bigger than what you can think about." So I left, but I left with no intention whatsoever to get involved with nothing else. So just to make him happy. So I was at ASEA, and okay, Gary Samuelson was too technical for me. I didn't understand a word. It was too much for me, too much information, and it's not me. And but I understand that they invest over $30 million in research, and the product had so many patents, and I said, wow, to invest so much money and to protect the product so much, they must have something good in their hand. And then I saw Verdi's Norton, and Verdi's did it for me. When I was sitting and look at the whole presentation, I saw Verdi's Norton be the Bill Gates of the situation. But Bill Gates was in technology, Verdi's Norton in a new emerging science. A product that opened a new category product. Wow, that was huge. No competition. You can go on internet, find so much competition. It's crazy, crazy. So, and I said, with this one, we are the only one to have this one. And I said, wow. And I remember a few years before, I kept saying to myself, shoot, I missed the opportunity with Bill Gates. I wonder if I will ever have that opportunity, a new opportunity, a great opportunity that really, really can bring me to work with a company that will be the next giant in the industry. And in that room, I was at the right place at the right time, in front of the right people. And that was so huge to me. I left all my organization where it was. Didn't touch those people because they were giving me money. So, and I start from zero, scratch, new people. I took only 2 people with me. They were not even a big networker, but that was a start. I went to Verdis and said, "Are we open up Europe?" He said, "No, not now, another for 5 years." And I said, no, impossible. We have to do it. And then I decided to go back home. I thought about 3-4 days, and I decided I will make it happen, and I did.
Awesome, awesome. We're going to talk. Yeah, we're going to talk more about the European experience here in just a second. But I want everyone to know. I mean, I don't know, just to kind of summarize here, the distance that Silvia has come in her life is really amazing. I mean, to come to leave her home country, come to a country that she didn't speak the language in, to raise 3 children as a single mom. You heard her experience in that space, and then to go from working as a waitress to owning a multi-million-dollar skincare multiple distribution company, and then to again create success in network marketing and the high levels of success that she's achieved. Absolutely spectacular. Now, a big part of her success is because she's such a great example of being a professional network marketer, and she plays big. She didn't come here to play small, as you can tell from what she's been sharing. And we talk about, talking to just 2, 3, 5 people a day But Silvia set a goal of talking to 20 people a day. And I'd just like Silvia to share what her results were after doing this for 1 year period of time. What is the potential, Silvia, of making a huge goal of 20 people a day after 1 year? What is the potential of what can happen that happened to you?
14 cities in one country doing weekly meeting with attendance of between 50 to 80 people each city. After 1 year that you play the game and you really put everything you got in it, don't let anyone to distract you, to tell you that their deal is better than theirs. Just keep talking to, put yourself a goal. Mine was 20 people a day. I don't care what, I will talk to 20 people, contact 20 people a day, either on the phone, on the street, at the gas station, in a cafe. I don't care. My goal was 20 contacts a day. I will make my goal every single day. And that was the results.
What rank, after 1 year, what rank were you able to achieve?
Actually, to be honest with you, I'm not good on looking in my back office when I'm in that mood. I stay so focused that I'm really working, that my sponsor called me. I was in Italy, and he said, "Congratulations, Silvia, you just be a diamond." And I said, "Diamond? Really?" So then I ran in my office. Actually, I was doing a presentation in a room. And so, I really want to finish that evening to go and check my back office, my diamond, and yeah. And then after a month and a half, he called me and he said, "Congratulations, you're a double diamond." And then after a week or two, he called me and he said, "Wow, you made it to the triple diamond." It was so quick from diamond to triple, but that because I really make it solid. Like every week was solid, like a rock. I was really working hard. And hard work pay at the end of the game, guys. It really paid. I'm very excited, and it did very well for me.
Fantastic.
If you decide to focus for 1 year of your life seriously, take it seriously, you will make it.
Yeah, in fact, what a lot of people don't, people say, well, I take it seriously and I'll talk to 2 people. They'll talk to 2 people a week. And, you would get up, if you looked at your clock and it was getting late and you didn't hit your 20, you'd go out to a gas station, as you just said. You'd go talk to anyone, anywhere, because you had to keep that commitment to yourself, that 20.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And what a lot of people don't realize is you personally, single-handedly, are the reason that we opened up Europe, because of the demand you created in Italy. So, if someone wants to build an international business, what are some of the things you would suggest to them?
Okay, number 1, identify leadership. I will never go in a country that is not open and just sponsor anyone that wants to come in. That is not me. I find that is very irresponsible. And so even if I prospect on Facebook, or I have to make sure that when I'm ready to open up a new country, has to be a leader. And then everything else come under him so he can guide people and help them out to develop the business, okay? So I don't believe too much on just get anyone aboard, number 1. And then number 2, your decision, if you decide to open up, start to ship product, make sure they clear custom. Talk to a broker, because you don't want to sponsor people, get their money, and then they have a bunch of product blocked custom. So you have an option. Either you talk to a broker, get everything in place, make sure the product will clear custom, or signing people on paper, get so much volume, and then go to corporate to Asia and say, okay, I work in this country and I got 400, 500, 300 people. Can you help us out? And then work it out with the company. That is the best way to do it.
And you know what? I mean, a big part of, of Silvia's just, actions, if you will, and what she did is it put a good foundation for the company as the years have passed to lay down those criteria that Silvia is just going over with you now. So be sure, if you have people in markets, that you check with your upline diamond, go up as far as you need to, and they'll give you all the parameters for the ASEA Global program. But again, like David mentioned before, once Italy opened, then all the subsequent markets from Germany and the Yugoslavian, former Yugoslavian markets and the rest of Europe to the west, they're all started to open, and now we're in 25 markets over there. So it's been just a wonderful journey. So okay, well, it looks like we are kind of at the end of our time here, but I just want to thank Silvia Fontana for joining us today and sharing with everyone your inspirational story and all the great words of wisdom. Thanks so much, Silvia.
Thank you.
Thank you, Silvia.
Thanks.
And of course, thanks to my co-host there in Marietta, Georgia. Thanks, David Asardo.
My pleasure, Paul. And Paul, thanks for being the host with the most and our IT director all at the same time.
All right. Thanks, David. Okay, everyone, until next time, go out, have a fantastic rest of your day, rest of the week, and I'll see you later. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.